Hey everybody, Mike Naso here from IPR with the latest in the tropics. So far this year, 3 named storms, 0 hurricanes, although all three at least got to 60 miles an hour and tried. Two of the three made U.S. landfall, Alberto and Beryl. Chris was thankfully killed as it got unfavorably between the low pressure areas, although many, including myself, the Hurricane Center, a lot of pro-mets out there, thought that this thing was going to become a hurricane and potentially even a significant hurricane in the Gulf, which it probably would have, but it dissipated just before striking Cuba, which was very good news. But on August 1st, 2004, we were on Alex and got down to Otto, and on October 1st of this year, we were on Chris. So we're 2 storms ahead of where we were in '04, and we know how bad that was, so we have to keep a lookout, as it's probably going to be a very active season. Right out there now, a tropical wave near Puerto Rico and Hispaniola, just north of there. You're thinking, oh man, this is something big, but I don't think it is. You can see an upper level low here, upper level low here. Similar situation what happened with Chris, but this low is not even a developed tropical feature and won't be, as it's interacting with land and shear up here. So that's not going to be a problem. You can see a little doodad down here in the Gulf of Mexico. This could develop. We could see a storm here over the next few days, as some of the models show, and I wouldn't be surprised, like we saw last year, a quick low pressure area out there for 6 hours could be a tropical depression very quickly. But again, I don't expect anything. I'm just saying. We do have a system out there. This is Invest 91L. I'm not too excited about it. Some people are. I'm not that excited about it yet. And you can see behind it another tropical wave moving off Africa, and then another one out here, and then we have more rolling off behind it. You can see the upper level features here. It's got some dry air ahead of it, but in general it's got a envelope with it. You can see the shear in front of it is unfavorable. It's trending upward because of that upper level low here, and then you have more unfavorable shear. But other than that, look at all this blue and green. The Atlantic, you focus on a tropical storm for 3 days and you realize, my goodness, while I was doing that, all this blue came up. Things are going very favorable, and I see a lot of comparisons, and I'm kind of seeing it too to 2004. And 2004 saw a couple of strong hurricanes come out of here in late August, early September. So with the way the shear is over it, 5-10 knots in this direction, it's going to have some problems stacking, but nevertheless good to keep an eye on it. You can see the models here trending west-northwest or westward towards the northern islands or the middle islands. A couple of the models here, 12Z Canadian in here, but weakening as it moves through the windwards. The MM5 and 120 hours, same area in the Eastern Caribbean, but not showing up well. 144-hour no gaps. You can see it's approaching the islands, but again, not showing up as too significant a system. And the 144-hour UK Met has a system behind it, weak but moving towards the northern islands, so that's interesting. The NAM shows a little curly Q off North Carolina. No, a lot of models are showing this system moving off North Carolina, potentially getting some tropical indicators off here, so keep an eye on that. But then you can see 60 hours shows a little system, one of those 12-hour storms in the Bay of Campeche moving through. Again, those could happen out of the blue, so always be on the lookout for those, but usually they stay down south and don't really strengthen, usually. 144-hour 12Z GFS doesn't really pick up on our system. It has it in here, 91L, but notice the waves behind it coming off, and then there's that feature off the southeast coast. You can see the overall pattern again with the storm system here. Good moist envelope with it. Lack of convection. Clearly a circulation starting to form though, and it could become a tropical depression later today, but again it's going to have a tough time with the environment ahead of it, so I'm not overly optimistic about it. But you notice behind it, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 features all rolling off on the intertropical convergence zone. All 7 can't die out. I mean, we're going to have to see at least Debbie out of one of these. I don't think we're going to see Debbie, Ernesto, Florence, Gordon, Helene, Isaac, Joyce. But I think we could see 1 or 2 named storms come off Africa over the next week or so. Not out of the question. Eastern Pacific quiet, Western Pacific extremely active. Tropical storm Bofa, 50 miles an hour forecast to strike Taiwan and then move into China. They don't need any more storms in that area. They don't. Typhoon Maria, 75 miles an hour, going to weaken and strike Japan. And then you have Typhoon Saomai, and Saomai is the stronger one. It could become a Category 3 or 4 before striking the southern islands of Japan and then into China. And you can see it there on the satellite imagery. This is that's BOFA, okay? That is Typhoon Maria, and this is Saomai, and Saomai is just off, off. Thank goodness we don't even get storms like this in the Atlantic. If we did, I mean, if Wilma had this type of pattern, plus what it had, I mean, Wilma would have been 200 miles an hour, because the way these storms get outflow in the Eastern Pacific and how large they get is just amazing. That this little Category 1 typhoon right here is emitting this much through the environment. It's just, oof, crazy. I'm Mike Naso, and I'll see you next time.